Hi, my friends. My name is Francis. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm glad you found my channel. I am running out of content ideas. Clearly, I have like my queer education series, and like I want to do a video on dysphoria, this and that, and this and that, and that. But like, I don't know. I don't want that to be my entire channel. Like, I love it and I appreciate it, and I want that to be like a big part of me and my channel and everything like that. But I don't want it to be everything, and so I want to diversify, but I'm running out of diversified ideas. But I just thought of one that I think could be really fun, and it will actually connect to the summer project. So if we can figure out how it connects to that, it probably won't be hard, that or it'll be super hard. I don't know, it connects. I'm gonna make a project over summer. It's gonna be like a pre-recorded thing that's set to play while I'm at summer camp. But for today, I'm going to read to you a short story I wrote when I was maybe 17, 18. I don't know. It was going to be made into an actual like short film, and it was going to be super cool and super well produced and all this stuff. But then COVID hit, and this isn't actually, it's a different script. Like I wrote a script from this, but it's like the same vibe. Anyway, I think it's really fun. I named it Grizelda, and in parentheses after the name I put humorously bad, so that when I went back to reread it I didn't think that I was just a terrible writer. So I'll give you that disclaimer too. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. All right. Shall we begin? Yes, I think we shall. Ugh. Hi, Frankie the editor here. I just think it's funny. Wait, what am I saying? Come on, Frank, find your words. Okay. Hi, Frankie the editor here. I think it's really funny to watch as I begin reading it, like pretty much just basic. Like, we start our story with Grizelda Kingsley, and then at the end I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, it's funny to see the progression of me descending into chaos as I read this. Just wanted to let you know that I start reading it boring. It's not boring. It gets fun. That's all. 8th grade is a pretty rough year for pretty much every human that ever existed. That's a personal conclusion with no backing, but I don't think many people would disagree. The main character of our story is a girl named Grizelda Kingsley, who had a name that totally didn't sound like the name of a main character. In 8th grade, Grizelda, or Zelda for short, figured she was in love with a boy in her language arts class, who she was pretty sure she totally saw looking at her a few times in class. She went home at the end of the day and cried out, "If only I had superpowers, then surely I could somehow figure out if my love is requited." And that became what she thought for years. After the boy in art class snickered at a sexist joke the year after in earth science, she swore she never had the slightest bit of affection towards him. No, she thought it to be so, but truly she knew her heart always belonged to the boy in Algebra 1, who she actually talked to. Indeed, her heart fluttered with the thought of him. Why, one time she remembered clearly that he asked to borrow her pencil, and in the exchange their fingers touched, probably. And then she knew that he had to be the one. The boy in algebra asked her for a pencil every day, and at some point during the class period, he'd throw it at his friend across the room when the teacher wasn't looking. Grizelda found that so dreamy. Then one day he got a girlfriend, and Grizelda was so distraught, and she cried out, "Oh, if only I had superpowers, then I could have somehow kept him away from her." It only seemed reasonable. Zelda always longed for superpowers. Then one day she stumbled upon a completely trustworthy glowing rock in the rain in the midst of a lightning storm on Friday the 13th in October under the full harvest blood moon. Being a logical girl, she picked up the rock and rubbed it, and then she put it in her pocket and went home without a second thought. When she awoke, she found that she had the power to freeze time so she could sleep a little bit longer. She thought nothing of it until she grabbed the milk jug for cereal after several hours of sleeping in, and the entire milk jug froze solid. She gasped and threw the milk jug, only to telekinetically catch it midair and unfreeze it and pour milk into her breakfast. She began to think something peculiar had happened, but she thought it best not to look into it too much. She finished her breakfast and brushed her teeth and grabbed her backpack and headed out to the bus stop. As she arrived at the stop, the bus was already pulling away. Luckily, she telepathically told the bus driver to wait for her and made it to school on time. In first hour, she sat at a table with the newest love of her life, in 10th grade at this point, and she had a normal conversation with him. "Wowee, Grizelda, yesterday sure was spooktacular," Johnny Goodman told her with a shiver. "It wigs me out just to think about it. Gives me bad heebie-jeebies." Yeah, I mean, totally, wait. Yesterday was what so weird? She asked him. "Holy moly, you must be joshing me. Yesterday was Friday the 13th, and it was a full harvest blood moon, and it's October, and there was a lightning storm. Golly, it was like something straight out of Goosebumps or Jeepers Creepers." "Yeah, those things, or, like, Scooby-Doo?" "Zoinks! Yes, just like Scooby-Doo." Yeah, I totally, I totally know what you mean, totally. Grizelda prided herself at how fluently she could talk to crushes, and especially loves of her life. Only, of course, she only had one love of her life, and that was Johnny Goodman. The others were just miscalculated crushes. But she knew better now, and she knew she loved Johnny Goodman with 100% of her soul. Boy, I tell ya, I was too spooked out to even leave my room. Yeah, I totally get that, she laughed loudly. Did we have homework? Golly, no, don't you remember? We had a test yesterday. Oh, yeah, wait. No, yeah, I totally remember that. Then terror set in because she remembered that the day before she took the test, she almost certainly wrote octopus when the answer was 7. A simple mistake, truly. And that was probably the closest she got to a right answer. Quickly she thought, "Oh, if only I had superpowers, I would get 120% on this test." And at that moment, Mrs. Jenkins returned her and Johnny's tests. Zelda flipped through hers, and Johnny Goodman exclaimed, "Holy smokes, you got 120%! Gee, I sure hope I did well," he said, turning over his paper. "Aw, shucks." He snapped his fingers. He had gotten -20%. Zelda felt weird. -20% was her average score, and Johnny usually got at least 17 extra credit points. She thought to herself, wow, it's almost as if some kind of superpowers affected our scores, and when I wished for 120%, the universe evened it out by giving Johnny -20%. But then she realized how goofy that was. Then the bell rang, and the disappointed Johnny moped out of class, and Grizelda celebrated verbally by exclaiming, "Huzzah!" and throwing her fist in the air like John Bender at the end of the Breakfast Club. She walked to her next class really slow, and she was 38 minutes late. But by some unknown miracle, the teacher didn't mark her tardy. However, Susie Johnson, who had gotten to class 28 minutes early, was marked tardy. Zelda sat down at her desk and started eating a Twinkie while watching Susie cry uncontrollably. Well, that's a little eerie, she thought to herself. It's almost as if some extraterrestrial force took away my toddy and gave it to Susie to even out the universe. She thought about it for a while munching on her snack, and then she laughed. That's ridiculous. For something like that to happen, I'd need some weird finding/encounter in a spooky setting like Friday the 13th in October in a lightning storm under a full harvest blood moon, or something. Then Zelda suddenly noticed a weight in her pocket that had been there all day, but she just now noticed it now for some reason. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the still glowing rock, and she gasped. Of course, she thought to herself. How could I have been so blind? Susie probably got cursed by a witch doctor when she went to that exorcism of old man Jenkins last Sunday. Then Zelda rolled her glowing rock around in her hand for a while. Suddenly, Grizelda noticed strange markings on her rock and brought it to her teacher, Mr. Jenkins, who strictly taught scientifical science. "Mr. Jenkins," she asked. The old man looked up from his spectacles and in a creepy old man voice croaked, "What is it?" "Well, see, I found this rock," She held it out for him to see. That rock it's pretty neato. I know, right? But look, it has writing on it. She gave it to him. He adjusted his spectacles and stroked his beard. It's alien. It is? Oh, what does it say? It says, Dear Grizelda, you have superpowers. You're welcome. Wow, that's so strange. I wonder what it means. Your guess is as good as mine, and I'm pretty wise. That's why they call me Mr. Wise Old Clean-Shaven Jenkins, not to be confused with Mr. Jenkins, or Mrs. Jenkins, or Mr. Jenkins, or Old Man Jenkins, or Miss Jenkins. Wow, thanks, Mr. Jenkins. I'm surprised you can read aliens so well. Yes, thank you. I studied it for many years. Aliens don't exist. How can you be so sure that aliens don't exist? Because I'm a scientist. But Blink-182 and... Nonsense! Blink-182 and Neil Armstrong and Da Vinci know nothing. I am a scientist. You're right, Mr. Jenkins. I'm sorry I questioned your judgment. That's okay. Now please go away. Okay, she said, going into third hour. I wonder what that alien inscription means, she pondered out loud. Did you say aliens? Asked Mrs. Jenkins, the science teacher, which was Grizelda's third hour anyway. Yes, Mr. Jenkins told me it says, Dear Grizelda, you have superpowers, you're welcome. But I don't know what it means. Mrs. Jenkins stared at Grizelda for a while in pondering. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I forgot about the rock. Look, it's a rock. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Well, dear Grizelda, you have superpowers, you're welcome, roughly translates to, hey, stupid, you have superpowers, hello, what is your IQ anyway, in Spanish? Wow, that's really interesting, Grizelda said, stroking her beard. Then she turned and saw Johnny Goodman, sitting up straight, staring absolutely soullessly at the blackboard. Ah, sigh, he's so pretty, she said out loud. If only I had superpowers, surely he would ask me out. Then Johnny stood up and robotically walked over to Grizelda with flowers. Gee whiz, Grizelda, I don't know if any girl in the school is as swell as you. Say, what would you say if I asked you to go steady with me? Ah, yes, would I yes say? Oh boy, do you really mean it? Wow, this is the greatest day of my life, though not really, because I don't find you attractive at all, but suddenly I do for no reason. I gotta tell the boys. Then he ran away crying, with a smile on his face. Wow, this is the best day of my life, Grizelda exclaimed. I hope you find out what that stone means. Okay, I forgot her accent. I hope you find out what that stone means. I'm gonna make her Australian now. Right, I hope you find out what that stone means. That's not Australian. Irish. Right, I hope you find out what that stone means. That's such a bad Irish accent. Right, I hope you find out what that stone means. But right now, fourth hour is starting, so please leave me alone. Okay, bye, Mrs. Jenkins. Oh, sorry, she yelled that. Okay, bye, Mrs. Jenkins, Grizelda yelled way too loud before going down to the computer lab. She sat at a high-tech Macintosh 2018 laptop with built-in food dispensers, and she stared out the window super mopey for no reason. She watched as some girl she'd never met before walked out of the school for lunch, and then she saw a bird poop on the girl. Grizelda's eyes widened and she sat upright. I have superpowers, she whispered loudly, but the entire class had already learned to ignore everything she said. The end. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. It's like one of my favorite things I've ever written. Fun fact, I'm like a writer or something. And also I like acting. Not that that was great acting, but it was fun to do. Yeah, if you liked this video, let me know. And I'm gonna put bloopers. It's probably just gonna be me laughing and saying words wrong, but drink some water, eat some vitamins, do some exercising, like the exorcism of Old Man Jenkins last Saturday. But no, not like that exercising, like, you know, rock out. Workout turned into rock out. Go rock out, bros. Go rock out. And I'll see you next week. Bye, loves. She sat at a high-tech Macintosh 2018 laptop with built-in food dispensers and stared out at the window. Oh my god. With built-in food dispensers. And she started out the... Stared. The word is stared, Frankie. She sat at the... I hope you... Hey, stupid! You have superpowers. Hello, what is your... I wonder what that alien... I wonder what the alien... How can you... Your guess is as good as mine, and I'm pretty wise. That's why they call me wise old shaven, clean shaven old. The old man looked up from his spectacles, and a creepy old man croaked. I can't talk. When she awoke... Oh, I missed it. Where'd it go? Come back. Luckily, she telepathically